Anomaly Agent is a very stylistic, narrative-driven, cyberpunk, action-packed adventure full of quirky characters and the most craziest scenarios, accompanied by some really catchy synthwave tunes. I was smiling a lot during my playthrough, because this game is full of personality. It has a lot of funny dialogue, slapstick moments and overall just a crazy time-bending story. I really didn't mind the story interrupting the action-packed gameplay sometimes. It was part of the overall experience, and it was also used in a way to let you upgrade your character. There are a lot of moments where the white text changes into a yellow color, and your answer to these questions will either give you a positive emotion token or a negative emotion token. Positive tokens are needed to upgrade your health bar a lot faster, and negative tokens can be exchanged for coins, so you can buy upgrades a lot faster. I really liked this design choice. I could have gotten a lot more money and therefore be a lot stronger during my playthrough, but I chose to be a nice person instead, and that's why I was less powerful but a lot more healthier. The overall gameplay is really solid and the combat becomes more and more challenging over time. In the beginning you feel a bit limited and the combat can feel a bit stiff. But when you get introduced to all these parry moves and range attacks like throwable items, guns and special anomaly moves, it becomes so much more fluid and versatile. I really enjoyed the combat, and even though it can be really punishing if you let down your guard for a second, you respawn almost immediately and there's no punishment for dying other than losing a bit of progress. There are enemies with unblockable attacks, and they can be really annoying. Thankfully, you can see a red exclamation mark above their head when they execute one of these attacks, so make sure to dodge them in time, because they can hit like a truck. The level design has a lot of fun gimmicks or crazy set pieces occasionally, but I think the overall design could have used a bit more creative input. Like I said, it has its moments for sure, like kicking a character from building to building and using him as a weapon, or disguising yourself as an enemy and opting for a more peaceful solution to your problems. But other than jumping in these portals and flying out of them, the platforming is a bit generic, and that's a shame. I'm not saying it's bad, but it had the potential to be so much better. Same thing with the boss fights. I liked all of them, but I didn't love them. Some of them had some fun gimmicks like dodging lasers or getting to a higher platform to be able to hit them, but they were overall fun, a bit challenging sometimes, but not really memorable. They do teach you how this game is meant to be played, and that parrying attacks and dodging in between your combos is the best way to overcome any kind of obstacle. So in general, Anomaly Agent really managed to charm me with its overall presentation and story, and while the combat is really solid and versatile, the platforming feels a bit generic and could have used a bit more creative input in my opinion. I understand the combat and the story were the main focal points of the developer, and this is totally fine of course, but as someone who really enjoys creative level design, it's hard to not notice the basic platforming spread throughout the whole game, even though it has all these fun or challenging gimmicks sometimes. I had the most fun with the combat, and testing out all the different combos and all the different weapons was a blast. The whole game is just a really enjoyable experience, and while I think it could have been even better with more fun and creative platforming challenges, it was never boring, and it always managed to keep me captivated. when you beat the game, you will unlock New Game Plus. So if you really enjoyed the combat and would like to get access to all your abilities straight away, and also would like to see all the other available dialogue options, then you should definitely give New Game Plus a try. The 4 hours it took me to finish this game were really enjoyable, so I highly recommend giving it a try if you love over-the-top action and a fun premise. So be ready for a cyberpunk adventure that's filled with crazy action, time-bending scenarios and charming characters, and find out if you are the right choice to make the world a safer place.